I want you to look at what we have here. Yesterday, we talked about the bench press, right? We said when you start, your arms are at the parent function. So that's where he's at right now. You can see it's still on the little hook things there. Okay, and then as he goes up, his arms stretch, right? He's going up and down vertically. That's a stretch. And then when he comes down past those little hooks, now his arms, it's a compression and it's wider, right? That's what we talked about yesterday. Today we're going to talk about horizontal. So I want you to look here at the butterfly machine. And the butterfly machine kind of looks like a big parentheses, doesn't it? Well, what do we know about the things in the parentheses? They lie, right? Insiders lie. In the parentheses or in the fly machine, we are moving our arms left to right, which is horizontal, right? On the bench press, we went up and down. That was vertical, okay? So in those parentheses, just like when we talked about insiders lie, if it was a plus, it actually went left. If it was a minus, it actually went right. We're moving horizontally. So when we do the butterfly machine, right, we're starting right in the middle. That's going to be our parent function. And then what happens when to my arms? What am I doing with my arms when I go in? Am I compressing or am I stretching? I am compressing. So when we go in, right? So it's going to look like this, right? This is going to be even though the parabola is going, up and down, it's getting skinnier because we squished it in. That is a compression, right? And then when we go back out, what are our arms doing? They're stretching, okay? So that is going to be a horizontal stretch and a horizontal compression. That's what we're going to talk about today. And if you need to, while we're going through and we're looking at what's happening, okay, we're paying attention. Is it in the parentheses? Oh, it is. Okay, that's going to be horizontal. If it's not in the parentheses, that's vertical. And then if we also have to think about, oh, what does the bench press look like? Oh, what does the fly machine look like? Then do that. The first thing we're going to do today is we're going to review yesterday. So remember the parent function for a quadratic is f of x equals x squared. So we need to put that in Desmos, and then I want you to type individually these first three as a warm-up, and we're going to talk about how that changed. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. Let's see how you did. What happened on this first one? What did the negative do? Okay, it flipped or it's a reflection. I would take either. If you're going to, either way, you need to say a flip or a reflection over the x-axis, right? That horizontal axis. What did the 4 do? Vertical stretch. Good. Because it got narrower. Remember, we talked about the bench press yesterday, and we're going to talk about that some more today. On number 2, what happened with the 1/3? Vertical compression. This one got wider. So this is a vertical compression, right? On the bench press, when your arms come down, it gets wider. What does this plus 2 do? Up to. Those are the easy ones, right? And the last one. Where do you want to start here? All right. Flip or reflect over x-axis. You could also use the word reflection. What's this 1/2 to? Vertical stretch or compression? Compression. Great. It got wider and down 1. Very nice. Very nice. So today we're going to actually talk about B. This was on the front. We filled in all these other notes yesterday. We're going to talk about B. And in order to do that, I'm going to show you some pictures. Our main pattern that we've been talking about besides our parent function, okay? Right, we've been talking about our A and our B and our C, right? So this is the pattern we talked about, A, F, parentheses, B, X, plus or minus C, close parentheses, plus or minus D. So remember we talked yesterday that A and D, these are going to be vertical movements. I'm going to kind of color code it. And B and C, they're in the parentheses. So that is going to be horizontal movements, okay? So think about vertical bench press. Horizontal is going to be your fly machine, okay? So let's identify these numbers. Do I have an A? Do I have a number here in front of F? I mean, technically there's a 1, but we don't need to actually write it. We could if we wanted. What is this 2 representing? This is my B. What about my 3? What is that representing? What letter? C. And -7 is D, okay? Do you want to go ahead and graph this and see what happens, or are there some of these that you know based off of yesterday? What do we want to do? Let's make a graph of this. So the 2 we said was a horizontal because it's inside. Horizontal compression, it got skinnier. And then it went left 3. And it went down 7. So remember, these are in the parentheses. Insiders lie. And those are also going to be the horizontal shift or compression. So we can say our A was actually -1. That was our reflect. You can use reflect, or you can tell me flip, either way. But you need to tell me over which axis, because we're going to look at the y-axis today. So over the x-axis. We did not have a B. Technically it's 1, so it didn't do anything. We said insiders lie, so this was not a left. This was a right. Don't let it trick you like it just tried to do me. And then up 3. So I really want you to get in the habit of putting it in Desmos and seeing what that picture looks like. This one is just like yesterday. What's your A? 1/3. And then what is that other one? Is that A, B, C, or D? This 3 right here.
It's D.
It is D. Good job. Good job. Do we know what happens already based on yesterday, or do you want to see it in the picture? It's up to you. Huh? Ooh, I heard vertical compression. How do we know it's vertical and not horizontal? It's outside the parentheses. Very good. We will look at the picture in just a minute. What do you think that 3 is going to do?
Go up.
It's going to go up 3. So let's see if our prediction is correct. Last one right here. I definitely want you to put this one into the Desmos. Do we know what that -2 is representing? Is it A, B, C, or D? It is B. And insiders lie, right? And this one is being multiplied, so this is not a left-right. Left-right is going to be C, right? This one is up-down. This is vertical, compress, or stretch. So this one is going to have to be, because it's in the parentheses, we know this is a horizontal something. Okay, we're going to have to decide if it's a stretch or a compression. So let's graph it and see what happens. So we said this was a horizontal compression and a reflect over or a flip over the y-axis. So if it was A that was negative, it was over the x-axis, it's going down. When we flip over the y-axis, it really is going to probably look the same. Okay? Let's fill in that last box we didn't fill in yesterday. Remember, we did mark yesterday that B and C are in parentheses. You should already have this. Insiders lie. And remember, A and B are going to be opposites, right? So, to recap A, we said yesterday that if A was bigger than 1, this was a vertical stretch, and we said it got narrow. So today what we looked at was B, and when B is bigger than 1, we said B is horizontal, first of all, right? Horizontal. And it's going to be a compression, right? We're still squishing. It's still going to get narrower. Okay, but notice how the words are opposite, right? Vertical, horizontal, stretch, compression. We said yesterday that when A is between 0 and 1, it was a vertical compression, and it got wider. So today we said when B is between 0 and 1, now horizontal, and this is going to be a stretch. It's still going to be wider, but again, notice the words are opposite because insiders lie. Yesterday we said when A is negative, it's a flip or a reflection over the x-axis. And now it's going, when B is negative, it's a flip over the y-axis. Okay. Here's what it looks like. What do we notice? What happened from the red to the blue? Okay, I heard it went left and I heard it went down. So we went left, how many? Count it if I went 1, 3. Should be 3 because of this, right? Left 3. And then down how many? Someone said we went down. Down 7. My scale on this is not very good. And there you can see the down. So now the question becomes, well, what did this 2 do? Well, again, is it inside or outside the parentheses? It is inside. So is that a vertical or a horizontal? Think about bench or fly. It is fly. So this is a horizontal. Okay? Think about what happened. Did it get skinnier or did it get wider? It got skinnier. So what are you doing with your arms on the fly machine to get skinnier? You're compressing. So let's go ahead and write that down. Here's our second one. What are we thinking? What happened? It flipped. What made it flip? That negative. Absolutely. This negative is going to be a reflection or a flip. And did it flip over the x-axis or did it flip over the y-axis? The x. Okay, that's going to come into play today. What else did it do? All right, it actually went right too, but yesterday we said insiders lie, right? So that's why it's going to be, why it's a minus, but it's still right, okay? What about this 3? It went up 3. All right, here's the picture where we write. It did go up 3. And it is, remember, a vertical is outside. And when we use the bench press and we go down, our arms get wider. So that's why it's a compression. So nice job on that one. All right, here's what it looks like. We said it is in parentheses. So is this vertical or horizontal? Which one is it? Is it? Horizontal. It is horizontal. It is the fly machine. What did you notice happened? Think about the fly machine. It got narrower. So are you compressing your arms or are you stretching your arms? This is a horizontal compression. Now, you're like, Mrs. Ray, it looks exactly like if it was just 2x. If I took that negative off, it's going to look exactly the same. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. This is actually a reflection or a flip over, which axis do you think for it to look the same? Yeah, the y-axis. So that's just something we're just going to have to pay attention to.